Hello everyone, welcome back to Maelstrom Gaming. My name is Malachi Gardner, and today I'm going to be continuing my playthrough of the Warhammer Quest adventure card game. I hope you all enjoy the video. Alright, so let's continue our game of Warhammer Quest. We just started a new round and we're now in the confounding stairs, so we need to place 6 progress tokens on this location, but at the end of each location phase, we need to discard 1 progress token from the location. So that isn't great. So we also have a lot of enemies in play. We have 2 enemies in the shadows, and then each character has 1 enemy in play with them, plus the nemesis is in play with the Bright Wizard. So that's not great. And the Bright Wizard is going to start us off, so let's get into this. Alright, so our fireball is exhausted, unfortunately, so let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to aid, so I'm going to do the Fan the Flames, and so this is an aid 2, and then I have to roll 2 black dice as well, so let's roll these. Alright, we have a scratch symbol, so that's going to do 2 damage to us, but luckily we rolled 2 shields, so that's actually going to do nothing to us, no damage. Then we get to place 1 success token on a card, and let's put it on the attack card over here. And then target hero may ready 1 action, and may suffer 1 damage to claim 1 success token and ready 1 additional action. So I'm not going to do that second part, I'm just going to ready this attack right here. And then discard these. So we can discard this card here after hero's activation to add 1 progress to the location. I think I'll say that for now. And so then we'll move on to the dwarf's first activation, and it will be to attack. And we will spend this success token here, and I can engage up to 2 enemies. And then I can target 2 enemies, so I think I'll target this one to engage, and it is a gigantic spider. We've seen one of those before. And then I'll target the Goblin Warrior and gigantic spider. You get 2 dice, 2 white dice, and then 2 black dice to roll. Alright, so that's a really good roll right there. 4 successes. And then this is also a good roll, but not for me. For the enemies. So we have to distribute 2 wounds amongst the party. I will put both of them on the dwarf. Wrong way? Alright, there you go. And then we have this scratch here, so the Goblin Warrior and the gigantic spider both have 1 damage. It doesn't really matter, just 1 damage to the dwarf. And then we have 5 successes, 4 and then 1. So we actually can defeat both of them, since this is 3 health and this is 2 health, so both of those are gone and neither have any armor. So that was a good roll. Okay, then we'll go back over here and let's do Burning Sight and explore. So it'll be 3 dice. Alright, that's 2 scratches, so that's going to be 3 damage total. 2 from Odious Grump, and then 1 from the Giant Bat. And then we get 1 success, 1 progress token right there. And then I draw and resolve a dungeon card, which is Dwarven Ale. So, this is an item. It says you may discard this card before or after a hero's activation for that hero to ready 1 action. That's pretty good. And then we have this gear symbol here, this treasure icon, so we can draw a gear card. And it is a map. It says, after a hero's activation, you may discard 1 success token to add 1 progress to the location. Limit once per round. Okay, so we have this longsword here, which says, before your attack action, you may target 1 additional enemy. This target enemy must be in your engagement zone. So we can only have 1 of these. Now later on in the campaign, we can gain more weapon slots or more gear slots, so we can have more than 1. But right now, for the first scenario, we can only have 1 card. So we can choose to go with the map or the longsword. So the map is tempting because with the Bright Wizard's Burning Sight, she can get a lot of success tokens, which we can then spend to get progress tokens. But the longsword is very powerful. Alright, I think I'm gonna keep the longsword, and then this map will be discarded, which again, when you draw one of these cards with a treasure icon, you may choose to either draw the top card of the gear deck or take a card from the discard pile. The dwarf Ironbreaker could either draw the top card of the gear deck, or he could take the map that was discarded whenever he draws one of these symbols there. So if we wanted the dwarf to get it later, we could do that. Okay, so then we can suffer up to 2 damage to claim up to 2 success tokens. And I'll do that. I'll claim 2 success tokens for 2 damage. And I'll put them both on the explore action, and then I'll ready everything. And I can use either one of my items. Let's see. You know what? I think I will not. I think I'll just leave it for now and just save it. And then I will go explore with the dwarf. So he has no black dice to roll and 2 white dice to roll. Not a great roll. Just 1 success token right there. Then we can draw a card. A little nudge. Let's get that in focus. There you go. A stone column appears ready to fall at the slightest provocation. Perhaps you could use this to your advantage. You may exhaust 1 action to choose 1 enemy in the shadows. That enemy suffers 2 damage. Okay, so let's exhaust this rest, and then this guy's going to take 2 damage. Let's flip him over, and it's a goblin warrior, which is really lucky because he only has 2 health, so he is actually defeated. Alright. Alright, so that was a hero phase. Now let's go on to the enemies. So let's start with Odius Grump. He is going to inflict 2 wounds on our Bright Wizard. And then he's going to pray, which means you're going to place him in front of the hero with the most damage, which is actually still the Bright Wizard. So it's just going to stay there. And then the Giant Bat's going to go. And the Ironbreaker actually is the one who's activating this, not the Bright Wizard. So it will actually attack the Ironbreaker if it attacks. So it's going to retreat, and then it's going to inflict 1 wound on the Ironbreaker. And the Bat, when he's in the shadows, he has some nasty abilities. He cannot be damaged while he's in the shadows, so we can't hurl a fireball at him. We need to actually engage him. And when the party travels, this enemy is not discarded. That's kind of annoying. We kind of want to defeat him before leaving. And speaking of leaving, we can't leave right now because we only have 2 progress tokens on that location instead of the needed 6, which means that 1 of these tokens is going to be discarded. Then this is going to go up 1, and in 2 more turns, something bad will happen. Alright, this is going to go here, and we're on to the second round. I will do this shield wall for the dwarf. He's going to aid, and before this action, you may engage 1 enemy, engage with the target hero. So let's engage Odius Grump. Alright, so let's roll this, and the black die. Okay, 2, and then 2. So we take 2 damage from the enemy die, and then we get to place 2 of these success tokens on our character's card right here. Pull it on a fireball, and then the target hero may ready 1 action. All the actions are ready, so it doesn't matter. And then we get to ready all of our actions. So there we go. And then over here, let's go ahead and let's use this fireball. It's all powered up, so let's do that. And well, okay, actually, before I do that, I think I want to think this through, because if we look here at the sheet here, for the blue ability, that's going to come on into 2 turns. So spawn Odius Grump. If he's already in play, he recovers all damage. Regardless, he activates and readies. He's going to come back if we defeat him. And if he is not defeated and just wounded, then he will be healed. And then either way, he gets to take a free activation. So, do I want to attack him and have him possibly be healed, but we get to be rid of him for a turn or 2? Or do I just want to spend all of my effort exploring? I think I want to explore. So I will do Burning Sight instead, discarding those 2 tokens. I'm going to die. And it is 1 success plus these 2 here, so that's 3 successes total. Okay, we can draw and resolve a dungeon card. It's a shrine. This place is quiet and peaceful. Restorative, if you but rest for just a moment. You may exhaust 1 action to recover 1 damage and claim 1 success token. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of this rest here. And then heal 1 and gain 1 of these, which we'll put on our explore action. Alright, so this card has a treasure symbol, so we'll draw the top card of the gear deck. And it is a pistol, which says, for your attack action, you may target 1 additional enemy. This target enemy must be in another hero's engagement zone. The cards are very similar. This one's melee, this one's ranged. I'm going to take this pistol for our Bright Wizard, and then hopefully the Ironbreaker will be able to get that at some point, and that'll help him with his melee attacks. Alright, then we can suffer up to 2 damage to claim 1 success per damage suffered. I'm just going to suffer 1 damage to take 1 success token and place it on the Burning Sight. And then I can ready all my actions. Okay, so we could use one of these. I'm not going to. I think I want to wait a little bit more. And then I'll go over here and let's go ahead and exhaust Into the Dark to explore. So hopefully we'll just be able to get rid of the Confounding Stairs very soon. Alright, so that's going to be 2 damage right there. And then 3 success tokens, which is what I was hoping to happen, and so now I'm glad we did not use these candles. Flies of Nurgle. Fat, black flies swarm the air before you. As they land on your skin and clothes, a foul stench turns your stomach and makes your flesh crawl. You may become sickened to choose 1 hero. Each enemy engaged with that hero suffers 1 damage. Alright, so let's see what sickened is. During your action, apply -1 success. Before your rest action, discard this condition. That is not worth it, especially since there's only 1 guy in front of me, and as we've already discussed, he's going to be healed in a turn or 2, so no, I'm not doing that. Alright, then let's go back over here, and let's rest. So let's rest a bit, and we can exhaust 1 non-nemesis enemy engaged with me. There's no one engaged with me. Then I can do a 2-die rest. If your remaining health was 4 or less before the action, apply 2 success. Alright. So that's just going to be 1 success, 1 damage. Not very good. It's better than nothing, I guess. Okay, so that is the entire round there, or sorry, the hero phase. And then we are going to activate the enemy. So this guy is going to inflict and then prey, so he's going to do 2 damage, and then he's going to prey upon the Bright Wizard, who only has 9 hit points. And then the Giant Bat will retreat, and then deal 1 damage through an inflict action to the Bright Wizard. Exhausted. Alright, then we will explore. So, we'll discard the Confounding Stairs. The Giant Bat, since in the shadows, it's going to stay, which is abnormal. Usually, monsters in the shadows are discarded, but because of the Bat's special ability, he's not discarded. Now, Odius Grump is engaged with us, so he is not going to be discarded, and that is perfectly normal. Let's go to the next one. Treasure Vaults. Alright, hopefully we can find some cool, treasure in here. That'd be nice. Alright, so we have 8 progress tokens. Wow, okay. This room is filled with piles of treasure, gleaming in the torchlight. Several creatures stand guard over it. At the end of the location phase, the party leader may claim 1 gear card. If he does, he spawns 1 enemy, limit once per quest. Okay? 3 enemies engaged with us and 1 in the shadows. So it's 1 in the shadows, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay. Decent amount of elite enemies, which is not good. So we can spawn 1 more enemy to gain 1 gear card. You know what? Let's do it. So we'll spawn 1 more enemy. It's like another elite enemy, and then we can gain a gear card. Let's draw it. I really don't know how great the longsword actually will be, because we can target 2 people, and we have 2 dice. And that's really, you could deal 4 damage or more. And so the longsword is kind of situational. It could be good, but I don't know. Let's just do this. And it's a great sword. During your attack action, if all the target enemies are engaged with you, you may convert 1 shield to 1 success. That is very cool. So, you know, sometimes you roll shields and you really don't need it because no one actually hit you, but with that you could convert those into attacks, which is good. Okay. It's gonna go up 1, so next round something bad will happen. Okay, so let's do a fireball right here, and we can engage one enemy. Don't want to do that. I can target one person, so I'll target the ghoul, and then I can target someone else with my pistol that's engaged with another player. Target the clan rat. You know what? Actually, let's target the orc boy. So ghoul and orc boy. Now I can suffer 1 damage to target 1 additional enemy. Don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend these 2, and then I'll roll the 4 dice. Alright, that isn't great. So first damage is going to be 4 damage. Oh boy. Down to 4 life. Then I have 3, 4, 5 successes. So we can do 4 from this, 3, and then the 1 armor, subtracting by 1. That's going to be 4, and then we can put 1 on the ghoul. Alright, then this is going to be exhausted. And let's see, I could do something like this. I could do something with one of these. Don't think I'm going to right now. I'm going to attack these 2 guys right here. Not going to engage anyone. Just roll, see what happens. Alright, so nothing here, which is good. And then we get 2 of these critical successes, exploding die signs. So let's roll these again. And we have a total of 1, 2, 3 successes, and then we don't need the shields. We can convert this to a success with our greatsword. That's going to be 4 successes. Alright, let's go ahead and just get rid of this gigantic spider. That was a good roll. Okay, so now we can go to the Bright Wizard, and we're running really low on health. I think that I want to use the Dwarven Ale to ready the rest action over here. So I'll discard that, and then I'll rest, so I'll exhaust that enemy, and then I will roll these. Okay, that's going to be 2 damage, and then 2 successes, so that's negated, but then we get +2 because our health is 4 or less, and then that'll put us up to 6 hit points. So as you can see, it is actually kind of hard to heal in this game, but luckily you are able to exhaust enemies in front of you when you rest, so that's something. It is difficult to rest though. Alright, then I will use the shield wall. So that's an aid. I can engage someone. Do I want to? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to roll these. Alright, so that's going to do 2 wounds distributed among the party, so I'll put them both on the Ironbreaker. And that's going to be 2 successes, so we'll place these 2 on the rest action. Then I can have the Bright Wizard ready 1 action, I'll do rest, and then I can ready all of my actions. Okay. So that is the round for the heroes. Alright, so let's go on to the enemies. Odius Grump's going to inflict 2 wounds to the Bright Wizard and then prey on her because she has the fewest hit points. The Clan Rat is going to advance and then inflict 2 wounds on our dwarf. And then the Giant Bat will retreat and inflict 1 wound on the Bright Wizard. And then over here, the Orc Boy will just advance. So that is all of the enemies, and there are quite a few of them. Okay, then nothing happens over here, and then we go on to this, and we spawn Odius Grump. If he's already in play, he recovers all hit points, and then he is going to activate and ready. So he's going to activate again, dealing 2 damage, and then preying on the Bright Wizard and readying himself. So that's not good. And I'm actually kind of glad I didn't actually deal any damage to him, which would have just been a waste. So then this is going to go over here, and we will start the next round. And the Bright Wizard is not looking that great. So let's attack, roll the dice. Okay, so that's going to be 2 damage, because they both have 2 attack actually. Alright, then that's going to be 3 successes, and we can take out the claimant. Over here, we're going to rest, so we can exhaust this guy right here. We'll spend these 2, and then roll our dice. Okay, 1 success, and then roll this again. Okay, so it's going to distribute 2 wounds, so we'll put them both over here. We got 2 shields. Unfortunately, I kind of wish that it was a attack like a scratch here, because then we could block him with the shields, but that's not great. We get 2 plus 2 because we're lower than 4. We are much lower than 4, so we go up to 5 hit points. So it's not looking as bad. And when you're playing a 4-character game, I think the Bright Wizard has something like 9 hit points. So that's kind of scary. Okay, so now let's go back over here to the Ironbreaker. I think I'll do the shield wall, so I can engage an enemy. I'm not going to. I'm just going to roll these. Okay, that's 1 success and then 2 damage from the Orc Boy. Okay, let's give it to the rest action, and then we will ready the rest action, and then ready all of my actions. Actually, instead of readying the rest action, let's put on the fireball. Let's do everything on the fireball. Yeah, let's do that instead. And then we're going to go back over to the Bright Wizard. Alright, so let's explore. So we'll spend these 2. We'll take these 2 dice here. And that is an explosion. So it's 1. And then roll this again. Okay, so 2 damage here. Blocked 1. That's 1 damage. And then 3 successes. Then we'll draw a event. The ground is unsteady, ready to give way at any moment. It appears to lead to the way out, however. You may add 2 progress to the location. If you do, roll on enemy die. On a scratch, suffer 1 wound and become bleeding. Okay, so bleeding. After your activation, suffer 1. After another hero aids you, discard this card. Okay, so we could kind of risk it and try to do that. I don't know, it could be good. Let's try it. It might not do anything, so, you know, and we might not actually become wounded, so that could be good. It's 2, and there we go. Nothing bad happened. Okay. So, now we are at 5, and we need 8. Alright, so now we can suffer up to 2 wounds to claim 1 success for each wound suffered. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to ready all my actions. Then the enemies are going to go. Orc Boy does nothing. He just advances. Odius Grump does 2 damage, and then he's going to stay in front of the Bright Wizard because she only has 2 hit points left. Then the Giant Bat is going to inflict 1 wound on the Ironbreaker, and then stay back in the shadows. Ready, everyone? In 2 turns from now, the red action will go off, which is spawn Odius Grump. If he is already in play, he recovers all wounds. Regardless, he activates and readies. Then he activates and readies again. Oh boy. Now, to make matters worse, when the peril track gets to the red space, it is going to keep on doing that every single turn until the game is over, which ends if we are all defeated or we actually get through the 4th location. So, Odius Grump will be then attacking 2 additional times and healing all damage every single round. So we really want to get this done before we get to that red space. Alright, so nothing happens on the location phase. This is just going to go here. And now let's see what we're going to do. We are really running out of health. The Ironbreaker has 3 hit points remaining, and then the Bright Wizard has 2. So this is not looking the greatest for us. Let's see. I think that we will rest. So exhaust that. Alright, and that is going to be 1 damage blocked and then 1 damage dealt to us. We'll gain 1, 2, 3 life, and that's that. Next, over here, we are going to attack. Engage the Giant Bat. Okay, ooh, explosion. Okay, so nothing happened here. which means that we can actually use this shield to deal 1 damage. That'd be 5, which is enough to take them both out. Okay, so now let's go back over here, and we will explore. So let's explore here. Alright, so that is going to deal 1 damage to us. We'll place 1 progress on the location. We'll draw a dungeon card. It's Elf Cap Fungus. You may discard this card after your activation to roll 1 hero die. On a success, perform 1 additional action, otherwise suffer 2 damage. That's gonna be interesting. Then we can suffer up to 2 damage to cover, or to gain 1 success token. Not gonna do that because I'm really low on health. Then we can do this. We could discard this card to attempt to take 1 additional action. I think that that is very risky, so I don't really want to do that because we could possibly just die outright if we did that, if we rolled something other than a success, and that would put us down back down to 1, which is really bad. So I think I want to say this for now, and maybe use it later, but I don't know. Alright, next up, we will, let's go exploring. Let's explore. Alright, that is 1 success, and let's put that there. Then we can draw a dungeon card. Avarice of Slaanesh. You see priceless treasures resting on purple satin cushions, behind twisting metal hooks and barbs. Will you attempt a little pain for a little treasure? You may suffer 2 wounds to claim 1 gear card. I'm not going to do that because I like the gear I have equipped, and again, I can't have a second thing equipped for this game. So then it'll be there, and then that's the end of the round. But we will use our ritual candles to add 1 extra progress. Alright, so now Odious Grump is going to do 2 damage, and now that's the whole enemy phase. We are down to 3 and then 1. This is discarded, and finally, last location. Grump's Sump. Barrels of a pungent green fluid have been dumped into the reservoir here. Undoubtedly the source of Shump's ailment. Dozens more barrels are still full of the substance, ready to continue the vile work. Alright, we have 10 progress there, and then at the end of the location phase, spawn 1 enemy. Oh boy. We have 3 face-up enemies and then 1 enemy in the shadow. 1, 2, and 3. So a really bad thing has just happened. The giant bat was placed in front of the Bright Wizard, which means that there's now 4 enemies engaged with the Bright Wizard. Now, a hero cannot have any more than 3 enemies engaged with them. So what happens when a 4th enemy is engaged with them is that they get a free attack action, which is a free inflict, and then they're placed in the shadows. So that's going to be 1 damage, and this guy's going to be placed in the shadows, which means that this hero is defeated. Now that we have 0 hit points left, the Bright Wizard is defeated. So we're going to turn our card face down, and all of these enemies are going to be turned to the shadows. So we have 5 enemies now, and this is going to be going here. Also, it's the end of the location phase, so we're going to need to spawn another enemy. Alright, so now we have a ton of enemies. Each turn, a new enemy is going to come out, and we need to place 10 progress tokens on this location. Also, next turn, the red ability will be going off, and the Ironbreaker has 3 hit points left. So, I'm thinking we're going to lose, but let's see what happens. So, let's see. The Stubborn Resolve, we'll do that. We'll exhaust this guy. 3 dice. And during this activation, I get 2 shields, so I can't really be damaged while I rest, which is good. So that's blocked there. And so then I'm going to take 3 health. So I'm up to 6, which is good. Okay. Then do a second action, which will be the shield wall. And the aid action isn't going to do anything because the other character is defeated and unable to do anything. But I still roll. 1 damage is dealt to me. I block it, so nothing happens. And I would place 1 token, so it's not going to do anything. Then I can have another hero ready 1 action. Again, not going to do anything. I already did all my actions. And then that is the entire hero phase. Yeah, we only get to do 2 actions now, so that's really bad. The Night Goblin Archer is going to retreat, inflict, and then inflict. So he's going to do 2 damage to me, which is putting me down to 4 health. Okay, now we have to go through each one of these. So Odious Grump is going to do 2 damage to me, and then is going to come to me. The Night Goblin Archer is going to retreat, and then inflict twice, 1 damage each. The Ghoul is going to disease, which means that if this enemy is engaged with me, I become sickened, and then it's going to advance. The Goblin Bat is going to retreat and then deal 1 damage to me. And then finally, the Clan Rat is going to advance and then deal 1 damage to me. And then there's now 4 people engaged with me, so he does 1 extra damage to me and is put back here, and I am very, very dead. So, now we are defeated. Since all heroes are defeated, we resolve the penalty on the back of the sheet, which says that we add Odious Grump to the campaign pool, which means that for the rest of the campaign, Odious Grump will be coming back and coming out as a normal monster. If we defeat him, then he's removed from the campaign pool, but he's just going to be there, and he's going to be bugging us throughout the entire campaign until we actually finally are able to defeat him, which is bad. And it's going to get more difficult for us to continue. Regardless of whether you win or lose, you can then go into the settlement phase, which allows you to upgrade your characters. You can do 2 of the 3 different actions. You have 1 action that allows you to simply go to the blacksmith and draw the top card of this deck, and you get that card. You can also train, which increases the amount of upgrades, the amount of gear cards you can have. So right now you can have 1. If you train, you can have a second item. So you could train and then go to the blacksmith, and then now you have a second item. Now, those 2 things are pretty cool to be able to do, but it is nothing compared to being able to upgrade your cards. Now, each character actually has 2 sets of the 4 actions: attack, explore, aid, and rest. One of them is the basic side, which is just kind of normal, and then you have the upgraded advanced side, which is even better. For example, let's take a look at this character's attack. You may engage up to 2 enemies, and then attack 2. Before this action, you may target up to 2 enemies. Okay? Now this relentless charge says that you may engage up to 3 enemies. Attack for 3 dice. Before this action, you may target up to 3 enemies. So it's just a better version of that. Let's do 1 more here. The explore action. Explore is 3 as opposed to 2. And then this one, you can draw the dungeon card and then you can exhaust an action to avoid it. This one, you can just choose to avoid it or encounter it. So that's pretty cool there. And then let's take a look at some of these cards here. Fireball, you may engage 1 enemy. Ranged action, attack 2. Before this action, you may suffer 1 damage to target 1 additional enemy. Engage 1 enemy. Ranged attack 3. For this action, you may target up to 2 enemies and suffer up to 2 wounds to target 1 additional enemy for each wound suffered. And then let's do 1 more. Fan the Flames, aid 2. The target hero may ready 1 action and may suffer 1 damage to claim 1 success token and ready 1 additional action. Cascading Fire Cloak, aid 3. The target hero may ready 1 action and may suffer 1 wound to claim 2 success tokens and ready 1 additional action. So as you can see, it's just more powerful versions of the cards you already have, which is just kind of fun. So you can do 2 out of those 3 things, from increasing the amount of cards you can have, gaining more gear cards, or upgrading your action cards. And you cannot do the same action twice in any one settlement phase. So that's how the campaign stuff works. I hope you all enjoyed this playthrough, and I hope you will join me as I play through more games, and maybe I'll come back to this one at some point and win the next scenario or something. But until then, I hope you all have the great day and happy gaming.